Yeah. Yes, that one. And that one. Yeah. And then we have to go down. Uh, yeah, and I think we will start with the slide and then we'll go to the video afterwards. Yes. So, and then we'll go down. Yeah. We'll go more down, yes. Yeah. One more. And one more. Yeah. Okay, so we go to the next lecture. So yesterday we started to scratch in the surface on this sustainable and circular business models, and what we saw was that often the how businesses they act on it is that they start often with one business model like this here, and then if we go next, and then they kind of start to spread it out in the rest of the business. So if we go next, and then we also we wrapped up around some of the difficulties and challenges that faces business and management, and we then also came into that this doing sustainable and circular business model needs leadership and management. And oh, uh, I think we will go next one. And then we touched upon that we have some areas where we would like to measure on different things. I also this morning talked about this garbage waste sorting. So we have some material and resources. We have some software that can measure it, uh, and we can then measure on a lot of the parameters already. Where we have more difficulties is when we turn into circular, because then we need to measure more areas and kind of when the waste starts to move in the value chain, where does it actually go, and what is the kind of content of it? Oh, I think it's going there. Let's go next. The same on the waste and the spill. We would like to track this, and um, let me, for example, take a chicken as an example. So chicken, when it goes to, it starts as an egg, hopefully, and then it turns into become a chicken, and then in millions of chicken, it goes into a farmhouse to be grown up, and normally. I think a chicken today will take about 30 to 45 days, then it's ready to go to slaughtering. And you know, the farmer, he measure his business on how fast it can go. And then he measures also on the chicken that how are they doing in the stable. So to do that, we have some very good experts, for example in Denmark, and a business called Skov, AS, and they are world famous of doing the systems that measure the chickens in now. And one thing that the farmer do not want is that they lose weight. So they measure these chicken all the time. For example, by and maybe that's an old way of doing it, going in and pick some up, or find out how they are doing in there. But this business is actually working with a kind of virtual, no, not a virtual, but a kind of a chicken that is not a chicken, but is a kind of not an avatar. What do you call it? It's a chicken that goes around the other chickens, and then it's like a robot. And related to your psychological studies and so on, it actually sends how the chicken feels, because feeling is very much also related with how fast they grow. So this, can you imagine this chicken like a robot? It goes around in there and send data back to the data center. And in this scope, they actually send the data back to Denmark from all their farmhouses that they have equipment with the technology. And one thing that is important is the death rate of the chickens. Too many dead chicken will actually mean less profit. So this business is experts on diminishing the death rate of the chickens. I think in some sense the chickens are treated better than human beings sometimes in our society. So they get the water, they get the food, they don't have to think about anything until they go to the slaughtery. And here comes a challenge, because the chicken go to the slaughtery, and then it is chopped up in different parts, and then you have to track the blood, the feathers, the bones, the meat, the feet, and everything. So to do this, a lot of experiments have been done on sensors. And I know some of you are working in computer science, am I right? So here we actually have a situation where we are tracking, or we are trying to track where do what it was before, except the meat, was called waste. But the interesting thing about it is that the legs are actually worth very much if they are packed and sent to the right markets. Before you just throw them out, the feathers are also a very good business for dog food and chocolate. Yeah, exactly. So you see, we are sitting there with a lot of chicken, different parts and so on, and then we have to figure out how, what can we do, or what kind of business model can we do here, and then how can we be sure that it's sustainable and circular. So this tracking of the waste is very interesting, because then you can exactly know the amount and where it goes, and so on. Then I was thinking about blockchain. What about if can we use blockchain technology here? Yesterday I called a business in Delhi, expert on blockchain, because I was interested in finding out if I could embed blockchain technology in those different here. And now I don't know. I'm just putting some bubbles up here. I would like some PhD students to have a look into when we do these workshops, what happens with the hexagons? Who takes which hexagon? Where do they put them? How do they move in the room? So this is one of the things I would like to experiment with in NIT Silchar. If you like, if you don't like, then forget about it. But this is something I would like to do in the labs because I think it will give us a deeper knowledge on how the business model innovation process is actually going and who is doing what and so on. And I think we can publish on it in very good journals. And then we can study the psychology behind. We can do a lot of things here, and we can use the math. We need the math. Am I right? We can track on the value chain. If we do, we transform the experiment into real businesses. So firstly, what I'm imagining is that we start in the lab, and then we move it out into the real life, which could be a chicken business or slaughtery or so on. So I think the amount of projects in this is endless. We just need to go there. Pollution is of course also very interesting to track in many sense. For example, if you have a stream, who is polluting? What is poured into the stream? When? And what is it that is in here? So okay, so we will see each other tonight. Okay, will it come again? Yes. Okay, we just have to wait. I'll take a little tea more. Oh, the mic works. Ah, okay. Yes, yes. You are still there? It's very dark.
Maybe we can continue.
Yes, sir, we can continue.
Okay, yes, you can still see here. Yes, so what we definitely would like is to track the pollution, and next thing, the biodiversity. I already specified that we would very much like if we could set up an experiment also at your university where we could have a deeper look into tracking biodiversity, and this this area is, I would say, not that much investigated. So I see a huge potential in this field, and I think there would be some nice papers that could be done in this area. So next. And I think this we mentioned yesterday. So next. And next again. Okay, so I think Having said all this, I think we are very much at the edge of understanding that if we look at the green, it's like, in many cases, we come from a business model that might be fully black or maybe a little bit green, and the rest is black. And then a journey starts. So it becomes more and more, or it potentially could come more and more green. So if I relate it to over here and to the B-star, it could be that we start in some place and then we start to make it greener. And then we work on the different dimensions and on the different components. And if we take the green, we could work on different of these here. So when we have the full picture of the bee business, and you have set everything up in the next exercise, then we have to take a decision on what of these business models should we work with related to circular and sustainable business model. And just to lift a little bit of what I'm trying to see if I can persuade you to work with is that we have the hexagons. And the hexagon, we have a challenge because they are magnetic. So you can't eat them. But they have a function that if these boards were magnetic, you could actually put them on here. But when you produce this, it's not the greenest technology. So the hexagon could be one object we could look into. And bee business, we want to move into green business and to circular and sustainable business. So very soon we will be asked by our customers, what about circular and sustainable? Oh, we have a manager. She is responsible for sustainability. Talk to her. So this is one thing we would like. Another thing is this one. It's produced at a normal printer business. I don't know about anything about the colors, what is in it. I don't know anything about the papers. I just know that functionally it works. So I would of course like to add another kind of dimension to it. Then I have this one. The book, it's also very nice on the surface and so on, but I simply don't know anything about the ingredients used to produce it. Then we have the cubes, 5 times 5 meters, and the cubes are made in metal, and it's also because it has to be magnetic. Because what the students does is if they have one dimension, then they put the customers on that one. Value proposition, they put on this one. And can we do it in a material that is magnetic, but maybe not in metal? So this is a third area that I would like to propose. Then we have these here, and these are made so that when you write, you can wash them, and then you can use the hexagons again. One trouble we have is that when students have been 6 weeks in our summer school, in our main lab, then they are black, yellow, and green all over, because it comes on the hands, and they do like this and so on when they're working. So we are looking for some cloth, because we are using some wipers, but we don't think maybe they are the best It might be better that we use some knitted cloth. And now I'm pushing a little bit to the social thing, because I was thinking about, what if bee business could produce these cloth by some ladies and men that were knitting, that did not have jobs. You get my point? I'm just pushing some bubbles to you. You don't have to take any decisions right now. Right now, you have a task in 5 minutes, that is get the portfolios right on here, and then when you finish that job and we are satisfied with that, then we will formulate some circular sustainability business models, innovation products that you should come up with a proposal for. Do you get my point? We have already, I told you that he's called Bjarne. Bjarne is one that cannot be in normal workspace. We have to take care of him. He's on special conditions, but he likes to work for us, and he's wonderful to draw. And the last Indian students that visit us, they were at his desk, and he was shown everything what he could do. So he was really, you could see he was having a happy work day, and the students, they were impressed on what he could do in a very, very quick one. So we want to do more of that. We have also had a lady, she was from Chechenian. I don't know if you know the country, it's over near Russia, where she had been tortured and could not work more than 2-3 hours. So bee business is actually doing that kind of workspace at all. And of course, we cannot ask for more than 2-3 hours, because then she has to rest, and so we would like to go that way, but we will also like to go the green way, and we will also like to earn some money. So again, back to the numbers. The numbers is not bee business; it's from another business, but it's just so that you can play with the numbers. Did I forget anything on that one? I don't think so. Okay, so the whole clue here is that we are on a journey, also bee business or any business. We are on a journey where we eventually hope that we can get more green, more social, and get a better business. Next. So, as I said, we have 3 areas. We have the green, which is actually embedded in the sustainable as one of the parameters, where we have the business and we have the social, and then we have the circular. And I take in this following list, because I think what we have seen is that it started with the green, and then all the others were added. Yes, you can take the next. Yes. So now the thinking is, again, as I said yesterday, it's a little bit more complicated when we start to add the circular thing on it, because we have to think, when we do the business modeling, how can we recycle it? How can we composting, fermentation, combusting? Can we remanufacture? For example, if the hexagons here, is used, can we then remanufacture? What can we do with it? Refurbishing, reuse. So one thing that we have thought about very much is that when you have a lab and you have 10,000 students going through the lab every year, then it will be too expensive, like the yellow notes, 3M, if we use that and throw them away. So instead we have tried to think about, can we write on it, wash it, and then use it again. I don't know why, but in my lab in my university, it seems as if the students, they eat it because they disappear. It must be very bad for the stomach, but they disappear simply, and that's why I would be very interested to maybe if somebody could put some technology inside so I could track them. Maybe they are put to hospital so I can track them up at the hospital and find out that they've got the yellow hexagon. Okay, so the whole idea about circularity is also, can we use something for a longer time? Can we intensify the use? Can we dematerialize it? And there is a lot of things we can do on this area. Next. So in a circular business model described, and I think this is a must, you must read the Geisdorfer, and it's one of the finest journal in this field, Journal of Cleaner Production. It has a very strange name, but it's very, very high ranked. Cycling, extending, intensifying, dematerialization. That's some of the main topics that we need to think about when we are in this field. Next. Yes, I think it's pretty much a little bit of the same. Next. And here you have some literature. So if you don't know what to do tonight, you can just start at the top and then start to read on this. We have done some intense literature study. I think we found 10,000 journals, so there's enough to read. You know, all the PhD, I guess you also as PhD student, you learn how to do the literature study. So this is a very, very big field here. Yes, next. So when we are this angle, I don't see in many of the publications. That is that turning it into that when you do the circular and sustainability, you really have to think about what level are we working with. And I would kindly ask you, when you do your presentations or you also work with this field in this course, that you really think about where are we actually doing the innovation. And then last but not least, we'll come back a little bit more to that. That is, what are we actually doing related to? Are we working with our network outside the business? Is it internal? Is it internal one of the business model, or are we actually trying to get into a network that we are not already into? So next. What you can see here is a kind of a business model in the front, and then you can see that we have the kind of sustainable and then the circular here, and then we are kind of looking into the business model here. And what we don't want is, we don't want to have, and I don't know if this term actually exists, there is a term called greenwashing, but I have not seen papers that is talking about circular, sustainable business model washing. I don't know if you can actually say it, but I don't think I have seen such a paper. So that could maybe be a hot topic to grab, quickly write, maybe use some AI to speed up the process, and then get it into a high-ranked journal. I have not seen it, it's just a bubble. Next. Yeah, so this is a little bit complicated model, but I know now we are in the pretty much the middle of the course, so now we can speed up a little bit. We are trying to work with a concept we call the multi-business model innovation brain. And this brain has embedded artificial intelligence, deep learning, multi-business model patterns, and a library of different business models. And what we would like to add is we would like to add a library of circular and sustainable business models to this library. We have already I think we have over 50 different, you can call kind of archetypes of business models. Uh, and, uh, and can you imagine that you are sitting in a situation, you have to decide what kind of business models is best for this. Then you can just, like you have your nice library here at the university, you just go over, then you say, I take this book, and here's all the recipe of this business model. And of course, we will not do it in a book, we will do it automatically, because it will just go out and like, for example, selling autogenbrug, they when they get a car, then they tap into the internet and find out what is this type of car. But here it's about business model. So it will immediately go and then you have the dimensions. And this we would really like. And we have experimented with it. And then the nice thing about it is that customers are not the same during the day. So we need to propose them different business models during the day. And that was what I was talking with a lady yesterday about. I can't see her here because she was working with a kind of a virtual influencer. and then I came to think about, this is a customer or a user. So what if, for example, we had a system here that could read automatically the demands? Then we could maybe do something here. Yeah. And then we could do it with a combination of humans and machines. That would be very strong. And I know that the textile business, Benetton, they are having a test bed near, what is the nice place called? Venedig. And they are experimenting on that. If you walk down the street, and then it actually tries to attract you to the shop. And when you come into the shop, you get a personal shop. So one customer comes in, then it looks like this. Next customer come in, then it looks like another setup. Now we're getting there. I think that's extremely interesting. How they do it, I'm not sure. Next. I think I told that we are now wrapping up so that we go from 62 to 360 businesses. That is our aim to make a test bed for us in the the Circular Sustainable Business Model Innovation Projects that is coming after GreenBiz. Next. Yes, and next again. Then I want just to address something. Also, it's about a mindset. And when we are working with a sustainable and circular business model, and it's a different approach. And here we need a video so that we just can just listen to this young man, just to understand what it's about. So we'll just have a little switch here. and it's called Project Drawdown. Yeah, I think yes.
You know, there is this new Excel hack that has brought a revolution to the way we work. And with
I would not like to hand the floor to another inspirational leader, Mr. Emmanuel Faber, speaking as chair of ISSB.
Merci.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm in Montreal with all my colleagues from the International Sustainability Standards Board because Montreal is one of the 2 global hubs for the International Sustainability Standards Board, and we meet here in Montreal every other month for 1 week of debates and meetings to work swiftly. And our offices are 500 meters from here. And I think it's very important that we work here at the same time as the COP15. So thank you very much for having me today.
Mark started about the value of nature and the nature of value. Let me start with the value of nature. There is no way that we enough realize how much that means, and that means for finance. If you're in this room this morning, is because one way or the other, whether you are a banker, an investor, a company, I see a few faces of Canadian executives here, familiar to me, or NGO, civil society, government, finance means and matters to you. The simple fact that most of us wear masks today in this room is just a reminder of how nature is just able to disrupt the way we live and the way we work. And that's been the case for a few years, and it may continue in the future. If you want to really be more personal about understanding that, I'll suggest a very quick, using 10 seconds of this session for an experiment. Just stop breathing. 1, stop breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can start breathing again. Yeah, but that's 10 seconds. Imagine that's 1 minute. How would you imagine, you're here for your work, how would you imagine that your work is not going to be impaired, impacted, if you can't breathe? Fresh air, the air we breathe here, is taken for granted. That very, very basic point. So to Mark's point, to me, it's not only that most of economy is impacted by nature. By nature, everything is impacted, and that includes economy, and that includes what we call finance, which is supposed to be a system disconnected somewhere. There is no system. You are the system. There is no traffic jam. You are in the traffic jam. No, you are the traffic jam. I'm the traffic jam in the morning. So that's where we are. Don't look at it as something difficult to change. It's just changing us, and that's probably why it is so difficult. But the value of nature is fundamental. Without nature, there's no life. It's as simple as that. So forget finance, forget funds, forget returns to shareholders, forget everything. The tragedy, as Mark said, is that we do not value nature. And the nature of value then. Because today, as much as there is a tragedy of value, there is a tragedy of accounting. We count many, many, many things important, but we do not count everything. We certainly do not count the air. We don't count water, we don't count oil. We count the price for extracting the oil, but not the fact that it took 100 million years to make it. We do not count for the soil degradation. Soil is not an asset class. You cannot have a damage function on an asset class that is 0. So that just doesn't work. And that's what is needed for change. So one of the reasons why the ISSB was created with the support of G7, G20 multilaterals about a year ago in Glasgow is because we need to come from this, most of the time, well-intended ESG metrics and landscape that was established to find a way to look at the nature of value of things that we do not actually count. But that's a very discrete set of standards, quite sometimes no connectivity between them all, not even standards actually, but metrics and disclosures, a lack of connectivity and certainly lack of consistency, sometimes even antagonistic. The reason why ISSB was created was to end that, and the alphabet soup and go from ESG to sustainability. And I want to share something this morning, which is news, because that's a unanimous decision that we made yesterday at the ISSB, which is we took our mission to design a conceptual framework for sustainability for finance and business very seriously. We felt that it was absolutely needed to create that consistent language. And so we described sustainability, observing to start with from the integrated reporting framework and borrowing from that framework, that the value created by a company is inextricably linked to the stakeholders that it works with and serves, to the society in which it operates, and to the natural resources on which it depends. Inextricably linked.
We can't do all the video, but I guess you have already felt that this is a very important work that they are doing. And if we go back to the slide, you can go and have a look at this. He has more videos here. Then he works on something called a drawdown business model innovation. And if we go next, they have identified 80 solutions at this time when we took the slide, 80 solutions to how we can turn into becoming more sustainable and circular. And if you go next, it's all about finding out where do we actually get this emission and from. So transport, as mentioned with the cars, is of course one of the big. We have heat, we have power, we have industry, and so on. And all this is to get us some objects for finding out where can we actually make less emission. So if we go next, so what they have identified is that one of the areas where we can really do a difference is on the farming. And the emission from farming is the greenhouse gas emission is quite high on the farming. And one simple small thing is that when we prepare for new crops, the thing that when we turn the earth around to prepare for seeds, and again that actually lifts up. So if we can kind of find out that the earth stays, but we have for many years taught each other that you need to turn the soil. Because then we have to feed it with fertilizer and a lot of other things. So then also not least, we have also learned that if that does not help, then we give some chemicals. Then it will be even better. So the thoughts about the product drawdown is actually to protect the land. And in a natural way, so to say, and the sea, and also the air and the atmosphere. And actually, it seems as if the the farming and the production of energy is those two that are the most where we can actually do most, whereas some of the others are not that so much critical. Next. So it's all about thinking in a holistic system. How can we actually work with this? And this means also that we probably have to change the way and the mindset around how we are thinking business models, because we actually know a lot of this already, and also when I take a walk here around the campus, I can see a lot of people around here that actually know how nature functions and what nature do not like, and so on. We just have to come back to the roots and what we learned from our grandfathers and mothers and so on. And then we have to try to see if we can get this up here, because if we are damaging the land, as he was saying, then we can't eventually breathe and live. Next. And of course, this address also a lot of the goals, SDG goals, and that you can read much more deep on yourself. But I wanted to take it in here because I think this is where we actually are going. This is a totally different way of thinking, and one of the thoughts are also that growth is not always good. Minimalism and reuse and a lot of these things, and that is not so interesting sometimes for business, because business lives on I remember many times I've been here in India where the word India is a mass market. And what does that mean? That means that you don't get a very high price, but you get a lot of. so it's a very different way of thinking. Next. Yeah, I think we'll stop here, and then we will start on preparing for the case. And I think maybe also we are a little bit close to the finishing of the second lecture. How much time do we have left? 10 minutes. Okay. So if you could show the case with the case, then I just have some comments to what we will start on when we come back from the break. No, you have maybe to go to classes or what? Okay, so very fine. So yesterday you got these numbers, which for some can be a little bit confusing, and don't run away. Don't be scared, because I will help you. I'm always here to support you. So what we ask you for is actually the first viewpoint into the numbers is that we view it from the value proposition side. So it means that we actually try to look into what value proposition do the business, B-business offer. And the B-business has 4 portfolios. It has a blue one, is called cubes. It has a red one that is called B-boards. It has a green that is pencils. And then it has books as this purple. And as you can see over here, there are somebody that has mapped up here the portfolios. So the portfolio consists in this viewpoint of 3 different business models. So firstly, we want these portfolios to be put on the board here. And the arrow here, if I turn a little bit around here, so this arrow actually indicates the earning. So in the numbers you have the earning, and you have minus down here, that's the red zone, and you have green up here, that's plus. So you have yourself to put the scale on here. That's your choice. But remember, when we had math in the old days, the scaling and to put what is on the scale is important. Elsewise, the teacher will get a little bit grumpy. Am I right? Okay. So then on this horizontal thing, it's about placing the business models related to where do you not think, which we did some days ago, but where is actually this business model portfolio placed on the life cycle?
So based on the growth.
Sorry?
Based on the growth, right?
Yeah, on the growth of turnover. So it means that the product life cycle is actually an old theory, and some questions if it still is relevant. But we have built it so that it actually is able to kind of find out if you have a growth, and it depends on how much it's growing, then this business model could be placed in introduction with low growth, in growth phase with high growth, and maturity it will kind of stabilize, and then in decline it will have a negative. Do you get my point? So this is the first phase. So don't do everything in one time. Start to do the portfolios firstly. The second thing, any questions? Okay, remember I report back to management that they understand. Okay, good. So the next thing is actually then under each of the portfolios, you have, in this case, 3 different business models. 1, 2, 3. And then the funny thing about it is that each of these business models can be placed in other places than the portfolio. Do you get my point? So we want to also see these 3 business models in the blue portfolio. Where are they placed according to the numbers? We want to see these 3 red business models in the red portfolio of BBOS. Where are they placed on the board? And we want to see the green one here, the 3 green business model. We want to see where they are placed. And finally, the purple here, where are they placed? Because our aim is to find out which of these business models should we kind of nurse and grow, and which of them should we kill? Or should we keep? So business model innovation is not a game of just going around having nice coffee and tea and little champagne and so on. No, we are actually finding out which of these, which chickens have been are ready to slaughter, and which chickens should we keep, or should we kill, or have already died. So this is the game, because you have five things you can do as a business model innovation thing. You can innovate on it, you can kill it, you can have it stabilize, you can do 2 more things, and you can also innovate a new one. So it's actually this you can to get the full picture, you can actually have a business model where you, for example, try to take some values out of it because it's not necessary. The customers do not value it. It could be, for example, a case where customers do not value sustainability and circular. So why should we offer it? You can force it, but maybe not. So this is the game that we are trying to do. So firstly, download, let us see the pictures, then we go and have a choice on which of these would we innovate to be a circular sustainable business model. And with these words, I think we are closing down. Okay, thank you for a very nice morning. Thank you.